Shalom, 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 brothers and sisters. Baruch Hashem Adonai. My name is Isaac King EK. You're welcome to my channel. I am happy to have you here. If it's your first time here, please help me subscribe and share the videos and be a blessing to other people. All right, today I'm going to be entering something a bit different from what I'm usually bringing on my platform. Okay, this is a bit complex for a simple mind, but with the help of the Ruach HaKodesh, I believe that we can travel on this journey and then come out really, really successful. Please don't forget to subscribe and share. All right, today I'll be talking about Alpha et Omega. Alpha et Omega. Or you can say Alpha and Omega. All right. There is a concept of Alpha and Omega that I would like us to see another angle to it. I want to see another angle to it. If you ask anyone what's the meaning of Alpha and Omega, the first thing that comes to mind is beginning and end, first and last, right? All right, so Alpha et Omega. So I'm going to show you a few things, and I trust that after this teaching you'll have a better understanding of the term Alpha and Omega. All right. Now, you need to understand that most of the times the things that sometimes we assume we know certain things without asking questions. I always tell my friends, asking questions improves your knowing. All right, assumptions keep you in ignorance and mediocrity. So you should ask more questions. People who ask more questions get more answers, and then you get clarity. Because sometimes we just assume certain things, and then without asking questions, even the Spirit would not open your mind. All right, that's the thing about curiosity. When you're curious about something, you ask questions, your mind is open to knowing. And the one thing you need to know is that knowing never ends. Okay, what we know today is limited by the level of our vibration and our exposure. All right, so we should open our minds to knowing, and then believing that the Almighty, through His Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, will teach us all things and bring all things to remembrance. Okay, so I wrote a few things down, so I don't want the video to be very long. I'll just go by the book. I'll try to go by the book and then see how far this takes us. I pray this whole teaching will be in one video. All right, so follow me. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share my videos, and equally drop your questions in the comment section so we can answer them. Okay, Alpha et Omega, or Alpha and Omega. The true concept of Alpha and Omega was never created by common men. It's not like about men coming up with some slogans and all of that. No, it was never a thing of like mere sayings. That's why even in the book of Revelations, you see where Yeshua was referred to as Alpha and Omega. Now, the man is the Alpha, and his chi, which is his spirit man, is the Omega. Now, I need you to follow me, like I said. Just follow me gradually, okay? The man is the Alpha, and his spirit man is the Omega. Now, when I say chi, I'm referring to the breath of Elohim that was in man, or that is in man. During creation, it was recorded that the Almighty Yahuwah put on his breath in man, and that man became a living soul. All right, so the breath of Elohim in man, which is the spirit of Elohim that is in man, It is what we call the chi of the man. Okay? Now, it is the spirit of that man that is his guide. All right? Before we had the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, we had the Ruach Elohim. All right? The breath of Elohim. Okay? So follow me. I needed to establish that before I go forward. So Alpha meaning head and Omega meaning guide. Now, Alpha meaning the head, all right, and Omega meaning the guide. The man and his guide through his journey of life. That is the meaning of the word Alpha and Omega. The man and his guide through his journey of life. All right? The guide that carries him through the journey of life. Now, you need to understand that life does not end in death. Death is another birth. It's a rebirth, rather, to another life. So we don't really die. Okay? So we just move on to another life. All right? Now, like I said, I'll stick to the book. The man was created complete with all he needed for his journey, with his spirit guide, with his chi, with the breath of Yahweh in him. All right? Like I said earlier, the chi is the breath of Yahweh that was given him from the beginning, making him a spirit being, and a part of a celestial being. All right. What made man the Elohim that he is called is the breath of Yahuwah, which is Yahweh, in him. All right. The Ruach HaKodesh, you have the Ruach Elohim, the breath. All right. In him is what made him align and one as a celestial being, but with a design for an environment. Now, the design for the environment is this vessel, which is designed to stay in this environment. This environment being this 3D world, to rule from this 3D world to the infinite realms, to the infinite dimensions. All right, up until he lost his dominion. All right, and then was limited. Like the brain of the man, when he fell, was blocked. Okay? Was blocked. What that means is that man has not been able to access his brain capacity to the maximum. Yes. It is said that the smartest man in the world only used 10% of his brain. All right? So imagine how many percent a lot of us are using. Okay, so the remaining 90% has been locked down, because the more the man's brain start to function, the more vibration he has, the more he's rising in his ability and his awakening, the more powerful, the more celestial, the more divine he becomes. All right, so it is for you to walk yourself all the way through your celestial journey. All right, let me not dwell too long here. The man was created created a God. He is called Elohim because he carries the breath of Yahweh. So he is created with an endless ability and knowing. Before the great fall, millions of years ago, the woman was not created to complete the man. Now, there's this misconception that we have that the woman was created to fill in the gap, to complete the man. No, she was not created to complete the man. She was created to comfort the man. She was created as a helpmeet for the man. The man was already created complete. All right? Now, you need to understand the concept of partnership. It is not that he was created to share equal rights with the man. No, she was created as a companion for the man. All right, let's go so that I will not dwell so long here. Now, I'll just read this. A lot of you will not understand this at this point, but whoever understands it, glory to Yahweh. Now, the first woman created was for the purpose of balance, the law of gender, to keep the universal balance, which is the law of gender, male and female. Life, the universe generally has a place for the masculine divinity and the feminine divinity. So for everything there is the opposite of it. All right. Now there's a day and night. There's hot and cold. There's giving and taking. There's on and off, forward and backward, male and females. You know, all of these things were created for balance. So when one goes out of balance, there are forces that are compelling those other elements or beings that are out of balance to come back to balance, because without balance the universe itself will eat up itself. All right, there needs to be a balance to everything. Everything has its balance. Okay, just follow me. Okay, according to books, the other woman refused to stay in her place as the other end of the balance. There was a rift in the order of things. Then Eve was created as companion with Adam. All right. At this point, if you don't understand at this point, you can ask in the comment section. I will explain better what I meant by what I just said. Okay. This video is too short for me to explain all of this. Now, to keep the balance in the universe, all beings and things must stay in their places. Man bows to his chief, which is his creator. Woman bows to the man, which is the father or the husband. All right, this is the order of things. Okay, the man is meant to be a god. He's created as a god. Now, that is why in some customs and traditions, men do not bow down for other men and all of that. Some people see it as arrogance and all, but even in Judaism, it is actually wrong for you to bow before another, okay? Because you're considered a god. All right. Now, bowing and kneeling and all of those signs of respect and honor, now it has limits to which you can go. All right, so we have to be careful when we should keep the balance in check, so it won't be a place of arrogance and pride. Okay, honor has its place. All right, so like I said, what really matters is the law of balance. If there is no balance, things can never be in the right places. All right, so whatever we do, we should create balance. Okay, now I am going to dive into something. This is one of the teachings I was supposed to teach one time in the Bible school where I was teaching some years ago. I wasn't married, so the bishop said that I was not qualified. I was not qualified to teach it because I was not married. So I felt like, okay, since I am now certified a married man, so I think I have permission to teach it. Okay, so I will dive a little bit into this and then permit me. Okay, now there's partnership, marriage, fatherhood. Partnership, marriage, and fatherhood. Now, these three things we're going to briefly run into. Okay, partnership, marriage, and fatherhood. These three things are not one or the same. These three things, they are not one or the same. They all stand out differently. They all stand out differently. Now, mixing one against the other is why we have issues, mostly in today's young marriages. Okay, now I'm going to run through this very fast. Please follow me. If you've been listening till now, please don't forget to leave your comment and please share the video. Thank you. I love you. All right. Partnership. Now, partnership is when two or more people have equal rights to a business deal or an engagement. All right. Now, marriage is when two or more people enter into an oath of submission and loyalty for the purpose of procreation, pleasure, empowerment, and family ties. Now, don't forget that in those days, kings and kingdoms marry from other kingdoms so they could have strong alliance. They could have strong alliance, and they could have family ties. All right, those are reasons why people get married in those days. Now, families get married to this other family to create some level of family bond and all of those. Okay, now I need to put these two together: partnership and marriage. Now, it will be wrong for you to call a marriage partnership, and it will be wrong for you to call a partnership marriage. Now, let me explain this to us. Now, a partner shares equal right based on the contract between you two. The contract is what gives you an equal right and percentages. Now, this is what you have to do. This is your job, and this is my job. All right. So that is why it's a partnership. So you have to play your role while I play my role as a partner. Now, but in the terms of marriage, it is not a partnership. Okay? Now, it is a union bounded by oath of submission, meaning that one would submit to the other. Now, Alpha and Omega, there is no word like alpha female. Alpha female. Now, I've been hearing that for a while, and then a lot of young people, I don't know where you got that from, but there is no such thing as alpha female. Alpha is for a male, a masculine gender. All right. Now, nature teaches us that there are certain laws that we have to follow. There's gender, the law of gender. The alpha dominates over the feminine. When two animals are mating, one is above the other. Nature teaches you that. Alpha and then the sub. Now, if there is no submission, there can be no union. So it's not like this, it's like this. All right? Now, you need to understand that no matter how much of understanding that a man should have, there should be room for leadership if you really are going to be married. It is not equal rights and justice. No, it is leadership. You lead, I follow. A lot of mistakes a lot of young men are doing these days, you leave the woman to lead and you follow. Now, when you do that, you have messed up the balance. There's no balance. The order of things have been messed up. It's the other way around. And when you have it the other way around, there's definitely going to be chaos. Yes, when the balance is distorted, chaos steps in. Well, what you're supposed to do as a man, you're not doing. You're leaving it for the woman to do, and you expect respect in return. No, it doesn't work that way. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to lead and she follows, because as the alpha, he leads and they follow. Look at the animals. The male lead and the female follows. Learn from nature. Nature will teach you. Now, listen, the society is so messed up right now that there are so many ideologies. Now, people like me talking about different kinds of gender, aside from the male and the female. Now you have to learn that nature would never lie to you. Look at nature and learn. All right? Let me not dwell too long here. Now, fatherhood. Now, before I go into fatherhood, you need to understand that the reason why marriage is not a partnership, nor a contract, is because in marriage, one takes total authority. Now, in the tradition and the customs from where I come from, when a man is getting married, he goes to the family of the woman and he gives them something they call a bride price, a dowry. And they would take it from him and hand over the girl to him or the woman to him. Now, what that means is that I have given you the right of fatherhood. So she becomes your child. She becomes whatever you want her to be. She becomes your daughter. Are you understanding it now? I don't know if you follow me. Now, when that happens, the man takes the place of fatherhood over the woman, so he can now bless her. Now, it is an error that the man who is supposed to be the covering of the woman is now being covered by the woman. No, it's an error. Christ is the head of the church. The man is the head of the woman. So if you leave your place as the man and then the woman is now your head, now she prays over you, you're not prayerful, you're not spiritual, you're just there, and then she prays over you. No, she is supposed to cover the children while you cover her. That is the order of things. So when these things are not in order, there is chaos. Let me not dwell too long. Let me move on. Now, fatherhood is when someone comes under mentorship, apprenticeship, or stewardship of someone higher or greater, or when a man biologically gives birth to another child. That's fatherhood. So sometimes some people play the role of fatherhood without knowing genuinely or acting genuinely as fathers. So as a husband, you are a father to everyone in the household. It is called your household. So it is how you father them, you control things, you build things. The woman takes care of the home. She is not the one who builds the home. So these things are things that we have misplaced the priority of things. So the order of things has been twisted. So there is chaos. That's why you see a girl just marries and then the next thing, she's divorcing. But some people, the reason is because you are actually not in your place. Perhaps the man has shifted from his place as a man, as a provider, and becomes the receiver. No. He gives. That's his job. He gives. That is why he has a semen. That's why he has a seed. That's why he gives. And then she receives and builds. Like, take care of. So that's the order of things. So when all these things are not in place, there's chaos. Now, this is one of the reasons I feel why marriages fail. Your husband is not your partner. He is your Lord and Master. Now, when I say that, I don't mean it in a very harsh and shrewd way. All right? Now, I mean in the place of order and fatherhood. No, it's not like we share responsibilities. No, we have to do this. No. Your job in your place of work is, for instance, your place of work where you have your boss. Your job is not to tell your boss what to do or how to run the company. No, your job is to suggest to your boss and he accepts it. But if he doesn't accept it, the company will have to run that way. But if you want to have your way, like force your boss to believe or to hear whatever you want to say, he might end up firing you. Yes. So your place as a staff is different from his place as the boss. It's not a partnership. Where you have partnership is maybe where you have equal shares. You have shares, he has shares, so you can suggest, you can say things, you can disagree. All right? Now, but the husband is meant to be a leader. You suggest to your leader, you appease your leader, you pleasure your leader, you make sure your leader is at peace with you. That's how it works. Now, your father is not your brother or friend. He is head and your covering, your father. He is life source to your chi. Reasons why fathers are given power to curse and to bless. Because the fathers carry the DNA, which is the life source. The Alpha and the Omega is in his loins. The seed is the DNA. The DNA is not traced on the woman, it's traced from the seed of the man. Your husband is not your brother or your baby boy. All right? He is the replacement of your father. I think I said that earlier. The moment that is changed, he can now bless because he has been given the right of fatherhood over you. So he's not baby. All right? Okay. Now, when a woman fails to know the truth, this truth of culture and life, she would never know the meaning of marriage. Don't marry a man that you cannot submit under. I keep saying this. A man that you can submit under, do not marry that man. A man that you can't look up to, do not marry that man. The man that I'm not talking about height or status right now. I'm talking about a man that you cannot depend on for a covering. Spiritually and physically. Spiritually and physically. I strongly suggest that you do not marry such a man. Now, if he can be your Lord, he can be someone you can follow, someone that you can trust his judgment, do not marry him. It's not safe for you to marry him. So, I'll say this and I'll leave you. Until you know the place for balance in life. The place for balance. You know, sometimes we are caught up with religious sentiments, religious drama, and we forget that there's a place for universal balance. Okay, I can be extreme on this, I can be extreme on that. Yes, there should be a balance. How can this work? How can we unify this to make it work? Until you have that kind of thinking and reasoning, you would always be on the extreme. One extreme. And then looking at other people on the other extreme as bad or wrong. I pray that this helps someone. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to drop your questions